Imagine waking up, opening your front door, and stepping onto Mars. Not the frozen desert we know today, but a world with rivers, clouds, and perhaps even life. But there's one terrifying secret about this ancient planet that would decide whether you survived your first day or died within minutes. When most people picture Mars, they imagine a lifeless red wasteland covered in dust and ice. But billions of years ago, Mars may have looked astonishingly different. Scientists believe it once had flowing rivers, vast lakes, towering volcanoes, and an atmosphere thick enough to shape weather. So, what if you had actually lived there? What would your daily life look like? Could you breathe? Would you see blue skies? And what catastrophic event transformed a potentially habitable world into the frozen desert we see today? Let's travel back through time to ancient Mars. Chapter 1. Arrival on an alien world. The year doesn't matter, because you've traveled back nearly 1 billion years into Mars's distant past. As your spacecraft lands, the first thing you notice is silence. Not because nothing is alive, but because everything feels unfamiliar. The gravity immediately feels different. Your body suddenly weighs only about 38% of what it did on Earth. Every step feels effortless. You could jump nearly 3 times higher than normal. Even carrying heavy equipment becomes surprisingly easy. But then you look up. The sky isn't the deep black void modern Mars offers. Instead, it's covered with thin clouds drifting across a pale, pinkish-blue atmosphere. Sunlight appears softer. The sun itself looks slightly smaller than it does from Earth because Mars orbits about 140 million miles from it. The days feel surprisingly familiar. A Martian day lasts just 39 minutes longer than Earth's. You might almost forget you're standing on another planet. Almost. Chapter 2. A planet filled with water. Today, Mars is dry. Painfully dry. But ancient Mars was different. Satellite images from NASA reveal enormous river valleys stretching thousands of kilometers. Ancient deltas, identical to those found on Earth, still remain frozen in stone. Massive lakes once occupied giant impact craters. Some scientists even believe an ocean covered nearly 1/3 of the northern hemisphere. Imagine standing beside that shoreline. Small waves gently crash against rocky beaches. Rain clouds gather above distant mountains. Streams carve valleys through the landscape. This wasn't science fiction. The evidence is literally written into the rocks. NASA's Perseverance rover is currently exploring one of these ancient river deltas because it's one of the best places to search for signs of past life. Where there is long-lasting liquid water, life becomes possible. Chapter 3. The air you can't breathe. But there's a deadly problem. Even if Mars looked alive, you couldn't simply take off your helmet. The atmosphere was much thicker than today's, but it still wasn't breathable. Instead of oxygen, ancient Mars was dominated by carbon dioxide. The pressure may have been high enough to support flowing water, but not human lungs. Without protection, you would lose consciousness within minutes. Every breath would remind you, this world was never truly built for humans. It was merely more forgiving than the Mars we know today. Life. Maybe now imagine something extraordinary. You're walking along the edge of an ancient lake, beneath the shallow water. Tiny microorganisms are quietly living their lives. At least, that's what scientists hope to discover. No one has found definitive evidence of life on Mars, not yet, but nearly every ingredient life needed seems to have existed. Liquid water, organic molecules, energy from volcanoes, minerals, and enough time for biology to begin. If microbial life ever appeared on Mars, it may have started almost the same time life began on Earth, which raises an incredible possibility. Maybe life didn't begin only once in our solar system. And here we may have finished the first chapter. Subscribe to delve into more of the wonders of space.